Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Akshay Dubey. He's the CEO of CVW Cleantech. Akshay, it's great to meet you. So for viewers not familiar with the company, tell us a little bit about CVW Cleantech and what you do.
Well, thank you for having us on. CVW Cleantech is a clean technology company that has developed a revolutionary technology to reprocess tailings from mining oil sands. So the tailings are essentially the waste that are produced through the mining oil sands process. These tailings are deposited into large tailings ponds where they are left for remediation down the road when an asset comes to the end of its mine life. What we are able to do is intercept fresh froth treatment tailings. We would then be able to put that through our patented process and recover additional hydrocarbons, so about 2 million barrels of oil and 300,000 barrels of solvent that are otherwise being lost to these tailings ponds. We would also be able to recover critical minerals, both zircon and titanium, about 250,000 tons per site, which would make up 8% of the world's titanium production and over 15% of the world's zircon production, again, completely from waste. And by doing so, we would reduce the fugitive methane emissions from these oil sands mines by over 90%. Tailings ponds in the oil sands space are the single largest source of fugitive methane emissions in Canada, and we are able to effectively remove the substrate that leads to that methane release. Finally, our tailings are clean. We've removed the majority of the hydrocarbons, so they are now ready to reclaim tailings under Directive 85. They no longer need to be deposited into a tailings pond, so they can go back and put it into dedicated disposal areas on site and accelerate their end-of-life remediation, which they're simply not able to do today. So our value proposition is really recovering commodities and doing it in a way that provides a step change in environmental performance for oil sands operators.
Who's your target market, Akshay?
Our target market is the oil sands mining space here in Alberta. There are 6 operating oil sands mines today, operated by 3 large Canadian oil companies, Imperial Oil, Canadian Natural Resources, and Suncor. These 6 assets produce about 1.5 million barrels a day of oil. So that would be about the 13th or 14th largest country in the world in one very condensed geographic region here in northern Alberta.
And I presume you'd be able to help those companies to meet their ESG objectives.
Yes, this would be a big part of helping them on the road to sustainability. All of these companies have committed to being net zero by 2050. We can actually reduce the emissions on a CO2 equivalent basis by 5 to 10% per site. So that would make a significant difference from their emissions perspective. But beyond that, it also goes to tailing sustainability. These tailings ponds are the single largest liability in Canada. They're the largest tailings ponds in the world. So to provide industry with a pathway away from use of these tailings ponds provides them a step change in their environmental performance. Along with that, we can help with things like the water quality in the tailings, but also emissions of other harmful substances like VOCs.
A couple of bits of news out recently. So let's maybe start first of all with the partnership with local Indigenous communities. Tell us about that.
Well, we're very happy that we signed a partnership with communities in the region. It's really important for us at CVW Cleantech to earn the social license. So what we did was we approached the Indigenous communities in the fall of last year to introduce our technology and the benefits that it can provide, both environmentally, but also from a social perspective, and ideally from an economic perspective. Given the positive reception for our technology, we did table a potential partnership at the start of the year based on the feedback that we received from these communities. We had very good conversations with the leadership of these communities, and last week we were able to announce that 4 communities are now our partners for us to be able to commercialize this technology, and they will have the ability to, 1, invest directly at the asset level alongside ourselves and our oil sands partners, but 2, also invest in CVW directly and have an ownership stake in the company, as well as board representation. This is really a landmark agreement because while our technology is ready to deploy, we are working towards our first commercial facility, and it shows their confidence in the ability of our technology to deliver what we have promised. And at the same time, what we wanted to provide the Indigenous communities was direct ownership that will allow them to create generational wealth over time.
And another partnership you've announced is with the University of Alberta, and that's to recover rare earth elements. So a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so we currently on our process are able to recover two critical minerals, titanium, which is used in a variety of aerospace and defense applications, as well as zircon, which is used in nuclear power applications. As I mentioned, we can produce significant amount of these minerals. The other mineral that we know exists in the tailings is monazite, which is a rare earth mineral. It's used in things like magnets for wind and other power applications. And so what we're able to do now is through this research grant with the University of Alberta is really go in and understand what an effective recovery process for that is. We already know it exists. We have all the samples in place. So this is really about fine tuning what that processing would look like so that we are able to recover these rare earth minerals, which are a key area of focus for the federal government as well as the provincial government, as the majority of rare earths today are produced in China.
Actually, I hope you'll keep us posted on any progress you make. Thank you very much for the introduction today.
Great. Thank you very much.
Akshay Dubey is the CEO of CVW Cleantech.